Yeah, we are being recorded, so remember to hit your mic. If there are no additions or corrections, I entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve minutes as presented. Motion by Mark, second by Cicely. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. All right. Second item is any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll approve, entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Actually, Mr. Mitchell called. He is stuck in Florida and will not be here this evening, so we should strike.
So we'll table that one. Roger Mitchell the first. So I entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda tabling Roger Mitchell's request.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion to approve by Ron Moreland, second by Mark. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion stands approved, or agenda stands approved. Next item is the public hearing, so if we have anyone that wants to make any comments from the public. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to old business. Does the addition of board members fall under old business? No. Okay. And we'll move on to new business. Let's start with the property variance requested by Charleston County Board of Education. If someone wants to speak to that. So how big is the building?
7,800 square feet. Roughly, a little over 90 by, 80.
So that's where the parking space requirement comes from, is the square footage.
Function of the building, water room, break room, social office, training room, and laundry, equipment storage. It's pretty basic. And by equipment, I mean football equipment. The one good thing I'd like to remind the community is that the training facility will be situated within the building so that our young ladies that participate in sports will be able to access the building through, in a way that would not bring them into contact with the boys part and stuff. We want to be able to, help our ladies sports out with any injuries or whatever the trainer would need to see them for, just as well as the male athletes. Situated that way also.
Will the parking spaces be available for games too? Or are you gonna shut that off?
It'd be like a,
Okay,
like game night.
and we're not cutting any handicap spaces either.
We did provide, and I forget the exact number, but there are some handicap spaces.
I see them.
Right.
I'd also like to remind everybody that this site plan has already been approved through the planning commission, and they've approved everything through this. Once they started staking out the position of the building, that's when they realized that the practice field was being impacted, but this has already gone through planning and has been approved.
So this is 10 out of how many spots?
So,
What is your percentage of reduction?
well, it calls for 76, we're going to go to 66.
Okay.
Mr. Jarrett Schaefer from GNRC has joined us. Do you have any comments?
Thank you. I apologize. I've been in traffic since 4:15 trying to leave Nashville. So been a long drive to get here. So I did talk earlier about why the variance was needed. So, and I know it was because of the practice field behind the building there. So,
And to the side.
to the side. So, you can kind of disregard some of the comments I had on there about why the variance. And I don't think there's anything other than, I see number 5 as really the reasoning behind the variance, in section 7.060. Was kind of the minimum needed variance would relieve the difficulty or hardship. Because obviously the other ones don't pertain. But that would be my only comment.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board? So let's do these separately. I'll start out entertaining a motion to either approve or reject the variance for the setback.
I make a motion to approve.
Make a motion second.
We have a motion from Mark Presley to approve the setback variance and a second from Ron Moreland. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Now let's address the reduction of 10 parking spaces. I'll entertain a motion to either approve the reduction or deny it.
I make a motion to approve the reduction.
Make a motion second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the variance for the reduction from 76 to 66. And that's by Mark Presley. Second by Ron Moreland. Any further discussion? Okay,
How much would the reduction of 10 allow for the training?
We still have 66 spots.
66 spots of parking,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? And that is for the extra space and the training that's needed. Is that correct? The extras, the reduction of 10 is to give extra space for training?
Well, for moving the building up closer to the parking area so that we can get that side part of the practice field.
For practice.
Is what we're trying to do. And of course, as y'all know, very few people park inside the fence anyway when coming to a game. Just can't get out there. They park all around downtown, all around Broadway, and everywhere under the sun. So, we're not really reducing a major parking area. The visiting team would pull their bus in there and all of that. And so that takes up quite a bit of what we're talking about.
Currently, there's no striped parking in there. So we've added.
There will be when you finish.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
okay, we do have a motion by Mark and second by Ron to approve. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll vote. All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. There you go, guys. All right, we'll move on to the next item of business, which is the property variance request by East Tennessee Natural Gas for the coverage on their 207 acres. Is there someone here that wants to address that? You'll have to hit the button on the mic.
Good evening. My name is Brian Kuda. I'm the project manager for East Tennessee Natural Gas for what we call the Ridgeline Expansion Project. Ridgeline Expansion Project, folks, we've been in here before, so I'll just give you a quick overview just so you understand the project in its entirety. So the Ridgeline Expansion Project parallels our existing East Tennessee natural gas pipeline from Bass Road all the way to Kingston Power Plant, where we will be delivering gas to TVA. They're retiring their coal plant there. They've started construction out there right now, looking for a 2027 retirement of the coal plant. So we're looking to deliver gas by November 1st of 2026. So part of the pipeline project involves a new compressor station, the gas compressor station. That's to compress gas down the line all the way to TVA. And that is on the parcel that we purchased on Boat Dock and Pure Years Bend Road. We acquired that back in May. As part of the compressor station, which is jurisdictional under the Natural Gas Act and under the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and also subject to Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation and the Army Corps of Engineers water quality certifications. We also are building a 8-megawatt solar array on the property, because instead of using gas turbines to power our compressor station, we're using electric motor drives. There's been a lot of investigation over the years on gas turbines versus electric motor drives as far as emissions goes. Electric motor drives reduce emissions. So in order to reduce emissions, we're proposing electric motor drives with a power feed coming in from Tri-County Electric, and then also the solar array to help partially power our compressor units at the new proposed compressor station. So on the west side of the property is the compressor station. On the east side of the property is the solar array. There'll be a line that connects the solar array power to a new substation that we'll be working with Tri-County Electric. And then ultimately the electric power as well as the solar generated power will go into the compressor station. With all that said, we purchased a 207 acre parcel and it's zoned A1. So under the utility usage zoning regulations, we are over 20% with even just the solar array, which is a non-jurisdictional facility under the Natural Gas Act. If you add them both in, we're significantly over the 20%. But the solar array itself, once completed, will be about 72 acres, 72 to 80 acres of disturbance. When we're ready to come in for the building permit, we'll have the exact footprint. We're still working on the exact panel sizes, but the overall limited disturbance that's seen on the drawing there is overall what we're anticipating it to be. We will have grassed areas in there, graveled roadways for travel and maintenance in between. No new pervious surfaces out there, or I should say no new impervious surfaces out there. We have a detailed sequence of construction, which we can talk about for planning commission for site plan approval, but so pre and post runoff conditions are being met. And again, we are seeking this due to the, again, utility usage under A1.
So we don't have a site plan yet at this point.
Yes, I have a site plan. It was submitted
Okay.
for the meeting after this for 7 o'clock. Yep.
Would you mind telling me the list of agencies that you've already ran this plan through that you have to have compliance with?
Yes, so right now, the entire Ridgeline project, so the gas pipeline, we have meter stations, which is where we receive gas from other pipeline companies. And then we have what we call crossovers, which are just tie-ins to our existing East Tennessee natural gas pipeline, which has been here since 1949, 1950. So we're paralleling that the entire way. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, so FERC, they are the lead agency under the Natural Gas Act. So they will do the full NEPA review, so the National Environmental Policy Act review. And then they've already issued a draft environmental impact statement for public comment. The final environmental impact statement is anticipated to be coming out sometime in December. And then after that, sometime Q1 of 25, FERC would then vote to approve the project or not approve the project and issue a certificate of need and necessity for public convenience. The other agencies that this has been submitted to and is currently in review, and we included the solar array in all of our applications because from a NEPA standpoint and a drainage standpoint, we want to make sure that everything is being quantified because we look at threatened and endangered species, we look at cultural resources. We cross through Hartsville Battlefield, for example, with the pipeline. Everything has been submitted to TDEC, as I mentioned. So they issue the 401 water quality. The Nashville District Corps of Engineers, they issue the 404, so the federal water quality certificate. And then we also will have a memorandum of agreement between FERC and Tennessee Department of Archaeology and Tennessee SHPO on what to do through cultural sites. Whether we do data recovery, we've already done some studies and provide information back to Tennessee Department of Archaeology. So that'll be part of our construction plan on how we mitigate that and monitor that. We consult and with the National Park Service. The National Park Service also provides comments to FERC. Fish and Wildlife Services, so National Fish and Wildlife Services, they provide what's called the biological opinion. So what they believe the project, could potentially impact anything from bats to mussels to fish. So they do a look at all of that data that we submit. And actually that should be coming out shortly, the biological opinion in a draft format. So FERC takes all of those cooperating agency reviews and reports and recommendations, and they put all of that into the final environmental impact statement, which then we need to meet any conditions from all those agencies. And then when FERC issues a certificate, we'll have conditions for construction, mitigation, so on and so forth.
So you're asking for a variance to 37.5%, but the part that's actually got solar panels on it will be at a much higher density than that, correct? So the overall 207 acres will be at 37%, but the part that has solar panels on it is gonna be much higher than that.
No, so the part that has the solar panels is a bit higher than just that. However, in order to, and this is something, again, we've talked, and Mike Stagg is my counsel. I could have Mike walk through this with us, but we've had numerous meetings throughout the county and with different officials on walking through jurisdictional versus non-jurisdictional. So the drawing that you see, we have the compressor station side grayed out because that's jurisdictional under FERC, under the Natural Gas Act. So we don't seek a building permit for that. However, to give you a picture of the entirety of the property, we wanted to show both the compressor station and the solar array. And I mean, whatever the commission, thinks, I mean, we could combine the two limits of disturbance and seek the variance off of that. Or we can seek it just for the solar array acreage. Mike, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I mean, I know we've.
Actually, if I may, when we look at a piece of property, we look at the parcel, the size of the parcel. We look at, okay, what is being constructed on this parcel? And then look at percentage. So it doesn't matter if it's all on one side, if it's all in the middle,
Yep.
or if it's all on the other side, or if it's all spread out. We have to calculate the total. So if you look at the total parcel, it's 37.1%, not just whether it's on one side or on the other.
Right. And I know we talked about that, but I just was trying to answer the question, so.
So the reason for this is so that any project doesn't cover the full extent of the property, right? Just to have, setbacks and things of that nature. Is that the purpose?
Well, if you look in our ordinances, every zone has its own setback, and it also has the amount of lot coverage that you're allowed. In an A1 piece of property, you're only allowed 20% coverage. And so that's why they're seeking the variance, because they are over the 20%. It's at 37.1. Now, if you look at other zones, they allow for a lot more coverage. But in the A1 piece of property, it's only 20%.
I have one last question. When you guys get done, will you be submitting a decommissioning plan? So that 25 years from now, when it goes away, there's a plan in place to return it?
It's very interesting that you asked that. So what we, yes, so solar is still in its, so immaturity, to some extent. All I can say is we'll have more to come on that. We have been working out, when a solar, so the compressor station and pipeline will outlive the solar array. As like I said, our original pipeline was put in 1949 and 1950, and it's still operating and feeding Oak Ridge and TVA and everybody else, and this county and every other county along the way still to this day. So the solar array, yes, we are working internally as a company to come up with, whether or not we replace the panels, if you decommission the site, how you do that, how things get disposed of. But that will be down the road. I don't know if we'll have that for the building permit, but it's something we can definitely start taking a look at when we submit for the building permit.
Jared, any comments?
Yeah, so in reviewing it, I mean, looking at this initially, the questions I had, so property is owned by East Tennessee Natural Gas. Applicant is Brian Kuda.
Kuda. Yep.
And so my first question is, I don't know if there's an authorized agency allowing you on their behalf. I didn't see anything, don't remember. We did find that, okay, so.
Yeah, so East Tennessee Natural Gas LLC East Tennessee Natural Gas LLC has been here for many years. East Tennessee Natural Gas LLC is now is under the Enbridge umbrella. So Enbridge is the parent company for the LLC. However, this project will be an East Tennessee Natural Gas asset. So I did provide Brandon the articles of incorporation that show the relationship between the LLC and our parent company.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Yep.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
So
no, Rosalie called me like right before the meeting and asked, so. Yep.
And so one of my other things is more of a statement than anything. So I know that electrical and gas substations are permitted as an essential service in the agricultural district as per section 5.071.5 of the zoning ordinance. So I know they're substations themselves. Solar arrays, I don't see anything calling out solar arrays specifically.
Yep.
So I just want to make that point.
Yep.
I know it's the BZA's purvey to make that decision. So my other question was, so knowing that we're asking for a variance to go beyond the 20%, I guess I don't understand. I know you're trying to keep it within that area, and solar arrays need to be probably close proximity to each other. So why the variance though? I mean, is there a certain amount of cells or panels that need to be there on that site to be able to power the station?
Yes, so the footprint that you see right now will generate 8 megawatts of power. So that 8 megawatts of power was a target goal for us when we set out on this project and entered into an agreement with Tennessee Valley Authority. The 8 megawatts was a target to, again, offset a portion of the electric motor drives. So when you look at megawatt hours per year, not to get too technical on it, but what will be generated from the compressor station in megawatt hours per year can't be served by just 8 megawatts. So the 8 megawatts is to offset the amount. Yes, yeah. So it offsets somewhere in the 12 to 15% range is about what it offsets. And the rest will come in from the power lines.
Okay, and then, so it may be on there and I just don't remember top of my head, how many panels there are there?
We don't have the exact panel count yet. Because we're going through, we've been doing a couple different sizings, and that's why I told when we discussed about coming in now, we're at about, we're between our 60 and 90% drawing package. We're gonna be placing our order for the panels, so we have them picked out now, so that we can, you know, submit as an amendment or an update, but the footprint of disturbance will not change. So we've made sure that whatever panel size we go to, we're looking at doing a mixed panel size now, just on what we can order and trying to get some things domestic as well, and looking at what the backlog is right now. So once we have that, we'll fit it in. So in other words, if we have to mix match some panel sizes, we'll still make it 8 megawatts within that limited disturbance.
Okay, so just want to confirm, so to make the 8 megawatts of power, you need beyond the 20% allowable surface.
That is correct. Yes, yes. So
To
that,
get
yes,
to
so
the-
the area, the limited, the disturbance area you see is this disturbance area necessary to generate 8 megawatts of power. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So if we wanted to, yeah, I mean, if we wanted to, you know, generate both units, we'd need about 5 times that. So
You need to scale it up.
not a lot of properties available for that. So, yeah.
So would this prevent you from having to use the utilities from the county?
So we will be using it. So, so TVA owns the lines, and TVA will be giving a drop down to Tri-County, and then Tri-County Electric will interconnect into our substation. And the way the substation will be configured with the compressor station and the solar array will be, as the solar array is providing power, the pull on the electric power grid coming in will go down. Obviously, when the sun goes down, as the compressor units are running and the solar array diminishes, then the substation will pull more power from the electric lines.
Just one other question. So
Sure. Yeah.
what percentage do you think this will? So it's generating 8 megawatts of power, but what
Yes.
percentage of your total usage, daily usage, you estimate it?
So
Supplies.
so looking at yearly usage, we're looking at somewhere, as I said before, somewhere in like the 12 to 15% range, but that can vary. Again, I mean, sun doesn't always shine, and so, you know, and then hours of daylight. So ideal situation, we would be able to generate more than that, but we're looking at less than 20% of the total usage. So the rest would come from Tri-County Electric.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a curiosity question.
Sure.
Does it require a lot of water?
A lot of what?
Water?
No, nope.
So the panels don't need to be washed?
They do get cleaned. Yeah. We do some maintenance on them, but yeah, not a lot of water to be cleaned. So, yeah.
I have a question. Is this project the only, in Charleston County, is this the only one that's out? Is this a new one, or is this something that's been built in other places too?
As far as a solar array goes?
Yes, and sorry, yeah. as far
Oh,
as-
no, we've completed a number of solar arrays as Enbridge, as a company, and we're actually working on some other ones right now. We have another program going on to put solar arrays. We actually have another one in Kentucky with Tri-County Electric as well that we're working on. That will be a solar array that will help, again, offset power. So it's something that we're looking at as a company to utilize solar power to help the strain on the grid, because like I said before, a lot of our existing compressor stations throughout our system are gas turbines. So we're trying to go from gas turbines to electric motor drives. So that way they're driven electrically, you reduce the air emissions. But that does require then either more draw on the electric power, or you put in some solar to help offset it. So, yep, we are looking at multiple places. So
And those are in operation currently?
we have, how many do we have in operation, Art, right now?
Berga, Lambertville.
Yeah.
Hendersburg, Flanagan. There's 2 or 3 other ones, plus the Tompkinsville.
Yeah.
And Willersburg,
Yeah.
up in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's about 7 that we have, and that's multiple states, so Illinois, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, yep, so,
There's more.
yeah.
Are we sure that are we sure that our current setup, our current electrical capacities are able to support that? I mean, I don't know much about our system to know if it's a concern or not.
We're working on those studies right now with TVA and with Tri-County Electric. So, we actually had a kickoff meeting, about a month and a half ago or so. So we've been working with Tri-County Electric, with TVA, and they're both doing joint studies on, what, if any, upgrades need to be made. And then that would be on us to pay for those upgrades. So,
Question for you. So
Yep.
this isn't really a new process. I mean, this is not at the beginning of the process. How long have you guys been working on this project and doing due diligence on making sure that this is viable?
we started studying this project, 5 years ago this week, so 2019, when TVA, put out their integrated resource plan to start decommissioning coal plants. So it's been a long process. So, and we've had the pipeline route, the need for a compressor station and the solar array since mid 2020. And I think the first time we were in here was June 2021. Yep. Yep. So TVA made their project public June 2021, and then we were in each county shortly after, doing our landowner information meetings, we call it. So because again, we're going, every landowner that has the existing pipeline, we're going to and talking to about the new pipeline as well. So on their property. So it's been a very long process. Takes a long time to get a pipeline built. And I think, sorry, the one thing I think I didn't mention, I mentioned our in-service date, when we want to be up and running, is November 1st of 2026. We anticipate starting construction sometime third, fourth quarter next year, 25, possibly, maybe January of 26. The compressor station takes a little longer to build than the solar array. But we'll have one contractor out there. The plan is to have one contractor out there coordinating between the substation, the compressor station, and the solar array, because there's so many interfaces between it. So we're probably about a year out from construction, should everything go well, as far as issuance of FERC certificate.
Farm, barn look to it.
We'll come, Art and I talked about that, and with the mayor, we can come back in and go, if you wanted to go to the commission, we can come in and talk about that. But yes, we are, one of the things for folks that don't know, we were in, that was maybe 2 years ago now. Sorry, we've had a lot of meetings, so, but I know you heard that and you remember that. So we came in with some renderings. So yes, the compressor station, we're using, sort of a barn style look to it. So it doesn't just look like a sterile building. And we're also using, it sort of a kind of an off-white, I guess, barn type color. So trying to make it as, fitting in with the surroundings as possible. So. And then we will have, we do plan on having, tree buffers around the compressor station. We know it's needed for the solar array. That's on the site plan for the solar array, but we're planning on doing the same around the compressor station as well.
So it pretty much won't be visible from the road or anything like that, will it? Not much.
It's going to be visible in some locations, and we can come back in and show some visuals, probably to the larger commission, like we talked about before.
I know that people have other questions we want to stick to.
Yeah, no, understood. Yeah, yeah. No, that's okay. Yeah.
Any further questions?
No, so the plan would be to not have them, so we will have gravel under all the panels. So the panels themselves, the racking system that the panels set in, those will be on small concrete piers. And then everything else will be gravelled underneath it, so. Mm. Yep, I know you. Yep. And we have, and I mean, we have, what was that? Oh, sorry, I was hearing somebody else talking. We will, and we'll have a, emergency management plan for the compressor station as well as a solar array, with the local fire department. So, we do that right now with all our compressor stations in all the counties. So this would be no different.
I feel like with all the other government agencies that are gonna be monitoring all this, checking all their boxes and everything like that, with this being a benefit to the community, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second,
All right, we have a motion to approve the variance for the coverage area from 20% to 37.1%. Motion by Sicily, second by Miss Freddie Banks. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Variance granted.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next item on the agenda. I lost my agenda, Miss Rosalie. It disappeared on me.
Discussion.
discussion.
All right, any other discussion topics? Report from the chairman. Chairman has nothing to report. I'd just like to remind the people in the audience, if you want to talk, you need to sign up. Anything from the building inspector?
Just wanted to follow up with everyone. I know the last meeting, there was a motion to explore the addition of members to the BZA, and we are moving forward with that. And we have gotten some good information that we can add members to the BZA, and what that looks like. Stay tuned for an update.
Okay. Any closing remarks by anybody? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Miss Freddie, second by Mark Presley. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We're adjourned.